Well, here we are in the middle of the Suffolk countryside, in a very rural situation next to a large farm, and we've got this very unusual church in quite an exposed, windy spot here on this, well, breezy, rather chilly autumn day. And look at this church. It's unusual, isn't it? But look at the site that it's on. It's fabulous. So this open field, lovely mature trees there. Look at that. All the leaves are coming off the trees and they're lying on the ground, making this a lovely sight. And it is a nice day at the moment. I mean, the sun's shining. And here we are. You can see the back of the church, which is, well, it's had a lot of work done to it, I guess, because you've got this beautiful cross, but these steps as it running down each side of the roof, I'm sure they weren't there when it was originally built. Look at that view. It's fabulous. Absolutely lovely here. All the grass has been kept quite short, actually. It's a lovely cross here. This is a large, chunky cross. You hear the wind blowing, and the sun's just shining through onto that cross. It's just lovely, isn't it? And over here, we've got the magnificent tree, and now we've got shades now coming. Shade of the church is giving a nice effect, actually, here. But it is a lovely churchyard. Get a better view here of those steps that are on the side of the edge of the roof. Unusual. I've seen them a couple of times before. I'm not sure what the significance is. Looks like a lot of repair work here has been done. I mean, that doorway was obviously a bigger door at one point, and the smaller door's been put in its place. Two buttresses, they look as if they were added at a later stage as well. And probably that window looks like it's newer, but I can't be certain on that, obviously. It's quite a large window, actually. And we've got some older headstones there behind the church. And I love that lovely chunky cross there with the sun shining on it. It's lovely when you get churchyard out there with the sun. And here we are again, another view of it. See, most of this church has been repointed. Very pleasant. Shows you that we've got leaves everywhere here from the trees. And beyond that is fields. It's a really rural spot here. Very, very windy here at the moment. And we can see the tower. Now the tower does not look as old as the rest of the church. You know, the actual main church building has been repointed, but it does look a lot older. The church has got, the church tower's got really good pointing. Looks fairly new. It's nearly all napped flint. You get a better view of it here. So it's a very neat tower, quite square. Nice ramparts there at the top. And just a small number of headstones. There's some newer ones here. And there's a lovely, quite impressive marble cross there in front of the tower. So the tower's only got it's got one window there and a couple of little slits where obviously the steps are going up to the bell tower. See you can see how smart that is. All that flint work. Really nice. And there's that cross. Now this is in memory of a chief constable, somebody who obviously was very well loved and respected, because they made this big memorial to him. On this side of the church you can see that there is an extension coming outside. You've got the little porch and the extension, but I have a suspicion that the extension is the older part, and that the main body of the church is slightly newer. I've seen a few churches like this before around here, with the extension coming out the side. Nice shot of the tower there, the sun shining on it. And you can see here the gravel path that comes up where the congregation will come. Beautiful. There again, the lovely porch. It's a lovely setting there. Church is magnificent, isn't it? Silhouetted against that sky. But then this extension is very odd. There's a big window here in the end. You can see all that's been repointed, and all the brickwork underneath the roof where it's all been replaced at some time. So there's a lot of repair work went on here. There's a lot of brickwork underneath all the roofs actually that shows you how much work was done. I mean, some extensive work. And here you can see that doorway that's bricked in the side here. There's one at the other side where it was a small door was put in. And then you got all these little small windows which I suspect have been added at a later date. Looks like this whole thing was rebuilt. There you go. It's a good view of it there. Well, it says the house of prayer, so we'll go in and have a look. And this lovely porch, which is open to the outside world, there's no glass or protection through these holes, and it's pretty windy and actually pretty chilly here on this autumn day. So we'll just go inside. We step down 3 steps into this. God, it's quite low down here. Shut the big door. Oh, this is really nice. Oh, it's very, very quiet in here. It's about 3 steps down from the outside. Anyway, this is the tower, the bottom of the tower here, and there is a window in the tower. And there's the bell pulls. Got a lovely lantern here, look. It's really old-fashioned, but that's really good. Fantastic character. And the floor is tiles, black and red. And the font, which is quite a simple font, really. Not ornate. Actually, rather nice, full of character, that one. And it's sort of a real country font with a little top, and on it is the cross. But I think the thing that really hit me when I first came in this church, and if we look and have our back to the tower and look down to this altar, we'll see that this church is actually very impressive. Look at that. You can hear the wind blowing outside. That's a really impressive church with a massive wooden ceiling. I mean, the ceiling is very large, very intricate for the size that the church looks from the outside. We've got 3 of these tapestry diamonds on the wall. They add to the atmosphere here. But I think this church must hold another surprise, because there is an extension at the side, and I don't know what's come first, the extension or this main body of the church here. So we just stop here a minute. We've got a plain glass window with views of the adjoining fields, the Suffolk countryside. That's a lovely window. Look at the all the pattern at the top there. That's lovely. And we've got a monument or something here, which is to a charity, I understand. But here's the real surprise in this church, and that is this extension here, which, that's just amazing. Look at this. So we've got an organ here. Beautiful window. I mean, absolutely beautiful window. That plain glass window at the end is fabulous. And with the organ in front, that's just an amazing sight. Look at that. We get central to it. That is just amazing. The organ is just in front of that window. It's just beautiful. And then, I mean, everything here. These hanging lights. They're like, oh, I don't know whether they're still original oil lamps. This must be the older part of the church, I think. Because we've got this beautiful stained glass window here, and this set in the alcove. That's stunning, that is. And then there's another alcove which I suspect that perhaps it had a statue of some sort in it at some time. Another window there, plain glass. And little alcoves there. That, of course, is the door that we saw on the outside. I'm sort of guessing now that this was the original old church. And then they added a large section here. So if we walk back to the main body of the church, so we turn left down, that's down to where the tower is. And this way, we've got the pulpit. And then the altar. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this stained glass window here. Pulpit is very high. This area, we step up here. Actually, look at the floor. We've got a very, very ornate floor. That's something you don't see in all these Suffolk churches, these village churches. Floors as ornate as that. We just step up here and, oh, it's wonderful. Got two beautiful, small, stained glass windows here. One each side of this memorial. And if we come up to the altar, and we've got my favorite, which is the plain glass window behind the altar and letting in so much light. And this is one of the best. Look at that. we've got the two side pieces trimmed in or edged in blue, and the center section edged in red. All set in a beautiful, beautiful major arch. It's fabulous. And there's no lighting in this church other than what's coming in through these windows. The monuments here, the memorials, they're beautiful. So many of them. They're all impressive. Small little window there, which looks as if this was a door at some time. That's been bricked in, I think I remember. Yes, on the outside. So if we stand behind the altar here, with the altar at our back, this is a very imposing church, actually. Of course, with the natural lighting, it's got so much atmosphere. And it's a mixture of delightful plain glass windows with coloured edging like this one, which is edged in green. And then stained glass ones like this one, which looks very old actually. That's lovely. A plain glass one there, edged in yellow. This is one of the most atmospheric churches that we've seen in Suffolk. And this unusual situation where we've got the major arch here on the side and an extension, which is, as I say, probably not an extension, but was the original small church. It certainly looks older, actually, because the tower didn't look that old at the end there. We've got electric cables here, look, going to all these lights everywhere. You can hear the wind blowing outside. It's a very windy day here, and this church is very exposed on the edge of this Suffolk field. And the church here is normally locked, I must point this out, and a key holder very kindly came and opened it up for us, and we're very grateful for that. But the church is basically locked when it's not in use. So, have one last look. Beautiful. So we'll go up the steps. Just have a final look. Call this door to, that's really nice. It's not unusual. Well, that's the Church of St. Michael in Hunston, and a lovely church it is, and I'm very grateful to the key holder that came along to open it up for us, because without that we wouldn't have been able to film the inside of that beautiful little church. And it's certainly an unusual church. Absolutely beautiful.